Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I'd talk about collector knives, and that's what I call these type of knives. They were knives that were specifically made for the collector. Kind of kicked off around the 1970s up into the 90s, but it's still in a way going on today. And so we're going to talk about those a little bit, define what they are, a little bit of the history about them, how they got started, and also, should you collect these? And so, if you'd like to know more about these knives before you go out and dump $100 on them, go ahead and check out the video. Okay, welcome back to the fortified castle. I forgot where I was. Man, it's hell being old, guys. Hell being old. But anyhow, yeah. Welcome back, and thanks for all your support, all your comments, your likes, and your shares. I really appreciate it. I'm sharing this guy right here, Travis, the case guy. He sent me a new sticker. I love to have these stickers. I love to promote people's channels, and I really like his channel. Really sharp, new producer of content, and I hope that you guys go and check them out, and I think you'll enjoy it too. So let's see. Okay, collector knives. So when I'm talking about a collector knife, I'm not talking about this, although this is what I would call a collectible, just like any other collectible, something produced that people buy and collect. And these are produced exactly for that reason, as eye candy for knife enthusiasts. That's not what I'm talking about. There was a group of knives that were started being produced in the 70s specifically for knife collectors. And that was because the quality of knives from the major manufacturers, Case, Camillus, Schrade, Utica, Ka-Bar, had been declining. And not only that, but these companies are growing out of business. Robeson, Cattaraugus went out of business in the 60s. Ka-Bar was bought out, I think, in 77. So they're going out of business too and being bought out. So there was a revival started by guys like Jim Parker and James Frost, Frank Buster, Charles Dortman, A.G. Russell, Stuart Taylor, Millard Barnes, who produced Buck Creek knives. These guys saw the need in the industry and wanted to get knife making back to its roots, where knives were more than just knives. And so that leads up to the question, what do you get when you get these knives? Well, in the 70s, it wasn't like today. So today, Rough Rider produces a wide range of patterns, some patterns that no other knife company produces. That takes us back to that era. But in the 70s, there was nobody like that. And so that's what kicked off Jim Parker. And his idea was to produce these patterns, long ago patterns, that weren't seen very much anymore, and include the blade etching that had gone away, the beautiful blade etchings and stamps that they used to do, the beautiful coverings that they put on these knives. This is Appaloosa bone. So bone had largely faded away and been gone for 20 years. Of course, there were some limited editions in bone, but for the most part, they weren't in production, and that was kind of the idea. So we owe a lot to these guys, Jim Parker, James Frost, A.G. Russell. They were really at the forefront of pushing this movement to and provide knives, like the old knives. This is a knife, a physician's knife that A.G. Russell produced, and came out of Germany, and just beautiful quality on these knives. And This is German made, very good quality on this knife, and genuine stag. And it's kind of things you just didn't see in the 70s and the 80s. Here's one from Frost, bringing this incredible covering Frostwood to light and putting it into production. Now, the pattern here is not a spectacular pattern, it's a mini trapper, but Frost did produce a lot of different patterns in knives. And also at the forefront, you can see here this is an American Blade Collector Association knife. So this is a knife produced for a knife collector club. And it is a single blade clasp knife that has Damascus, genuine Damascus blade on it. And just really incredible. Nobody was really making Damascus at this time. And that's the kind of thing that these guys did. They brought to light this incredible knife making ability as an art. Beautiful example of mother of pearl in this knife. Just a really clean looking knife, highly polished. And they would, knife companies popped up all over the United States. So virtually every state had a knife club in it. And there were national ones too, like the National Knife Collectors Association. And then you had, states, knife collector clubs in states, and they would purchase quantities of these knives in unusual patterns and with blade etchings and coverings that were different than you could get from major manufacturers. And that's really what's in it for you. So when you look at these club knives and you look at these collector knives from that era, that's what they're offering you, is patterns that you don't normally see in coverings that you don't normally see. You still don't see, this is genuine stag. You still don't see a lot of genuine stag today. You can find some, but just not a lot of it out of there. And knives like these, this is Bulldog brand, I think. Yeah, Bulldog brand, brought back this etching, these beautiful etchings that used to be put on knives, but that were no longer. And beautiful coverings, brilliant, colorful coverings, reflective, that had long ago gone away. Along with unusual knives, this is a canoe, and it's a 4-blade canoe. So that was never seen, and it's unusual. And here's another one by Fighting Rooster. They're another one started by Frank Buster. And you can see the stamping. So this is not an etch, it's a stamp in the blade. Beautiful flourish. Sometimes these were colored in gold and other colors. Just bringing back that old time, craftsmanship to knives again. And these are well made knives, made in Germany, solid, and fairly affordable. Most of these type of knives you can get within the $40 to $100 range. Some will go a little bit more, some can go less, I guess. Here's one by Stuart Taylor. Again, you have the worked bolster on here, which was common in the 19th century and 18th century, but had gone away, long gone away. And here you see it next to a beautiful bone that's been stippled and burnt and then colored with these oranges and blues. This is just a beautiful, beautiful knife. Well made. This is made in Japan. And so we owe a lot to these guys who did this and started this movement. Now, the knife companies got right on board. So, Camillus, this is a Camillus produced knife, producing a model that hadn't been produced a long time. Here's one from Case. It is a club. This is a saddle horn. Hadn't been produced in a while, and it's a club knife. This one's from Queen Cutlery. This one is from Schrade. Again, just a canoe, but in stag bone, limited edition. This is from Utica Cutlery. Just beautiful artwork, relief work on this knife right here, incredibly detailed. And then lesser guys like Swanner Cutlery. So this was a small company out of Ohio. It contracted knives, and you can see here it's producing orange Appaloosa bone, very high polish on this knife. And I believe this was produced in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Made in roll, made in nowhere. See that? Made in nowhere. I think this is made in Japan. So anyhow, there were a lot of companies like this that popped up, kind of obscure. You never heard of them before, and they're making collector type knives. And so that is the deal with these knives. They're high quality. They're unique patterns, really cool covers on them, and they're pretty affordable. And so that'll lead into the investment part of these knives. Okay, so why would you buy a knife as an investment? Well, any investment you're hoping gains in value, and so you're purchasing something hoping at some point in time in the future it may gain in value, and as such all such investments are risky. They carry risk, but you also have a risk of just leaving your money sit, because inflation eats away at the value of your money. So money you saved from the year 2000 is worth less today than it was in 2000 because of inflation. And so you have to have a pretty good return to keep up with inflation. So that's one of the risks, is that inflation will eat away the value of your investment. Another risk is to have an investment like that. So you're hoping somebody's going to buy it at the end when you want to sell it. And so if there is no desire from people to buy them, then you're not going to be able to sell them. And so you won't get a return on your money at all. You won't even sell them. So there's a lot of risks there. But looking at these knives, let me see if I can find an example. Okay, let's take these club knives. They sold for around the $20 range. And if you, let's say you bought this in 1990 at $25. So in inflation adjusted dollars, this knife would have to be worth $59.97 today just to equal the value of when you bought it. And so that is really the problem. And I'll give you an example of that. These knives right here. So these knives are collector clubs, American Blade Club knives. And I bought these knives for $55 a piece. $55 a piece. These knives were bought in 1990. I think they were. Let me check the date on them. May actually be earlier. Yeah, 1988. So around 1990. So you can see at our example, under inflation adjusted dollars, I actually bought these knives for less than what the value of they should have gained with inflation. So remember, it's $25 in 1990 is worth $59 today, and I bought them for $55. So these knives have actually lost in value. It's not true with every knife. It is true with these, and that's the problem with collecting these knives as an investment. Now, some of these knives will range up to $100, so you'll make a little bit of money on the investment, but there's no guarantee on any one of them which one's going to gain in value, which one's not. The main reason I buy these knives is the fantastic quality of them. You know, they're just really good knives. And so I try to find them in really good shape and buy them at an affordable price. And, you know, if I make money when I sell them, so be it. If I don't, so be it. But they're just fantastic. I mean, look at this knife here. And I'm not really sure when. I think it was made in the 90s. Let me check. 1981, right there. So this is a Queen made knife from 1981. Unusual. Okay, so it's an equal end pattern, but you have opposite end blades. You have one blade here and one blade here, and that's unusual. You don't really see that in an equal end much unless it's a moose pattern, which this is not. So you have a large blade and a pen blade. Unusual pattern. You can hear the snap on these. Really good, really nice quality on this knife. Well done. And so that's why I buy them, you know, because they're just really cool. They're good quality. I think they're pretty affordable, honestly. I mean, if you were, a lot of times you're going to pay well over $100 for a really good case like this right here, you know, and in vintage years, and it's just getting worse. They go up and up and up and up, and so you know, when you look comparably at knife prices, these are really good values. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understand a little bit about what's going on with these collector knives. You know, they were made for collectors by guys who had a lot of passion for knives, and turned out to be the forefathers of the knife collecting hobby. That's who these guys are. They're the forefathers of the knife collecting hobby. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks y'all for your support, and check out old Travis there. I think you'll enjoy him. I know I did.